Now we're going to get to my personal favorite, and that is financial forecasting, okay? If you don't have a big background in numbers, accounting, bookkeeping, neither do I. But I've understood, let me tell you, I'm going to be honest here. I'm going to give you a little bit of honesty zone here. I used to be, like a couple of years ago, I used to get so much anxiety over looking at financial statements. If my wife was looking at financial statement, I literally leave the room. And I'll leave the room. I don't want to be a part of it. You just figure it out. I'm just going to continue to do what I do, right? That is long gone, right? You got to break through that. Anyone here get a little nervous when we're looking at financials, P&Ls? Anybody? Okay, yes. Why? Okay, let's take a share. Why do you get nervous? Because I'll tell you how I got nervous, right? Who here wants to be a brave soul? Why do you get nervous looking at financials? Enrique, I saw your hand. Elizabeth? Yep.
I like to see how much money I spend.
No, let's say it again on the hold on. I want to make sure our visitors at home can hear you.
I really just would like to see how reckless I can be with myself.
There you go. Okay. And what do you do? What's your name? What do you do?
Me?
Yes.
Ricky Bellini. Nice to meet everybody. I'm a new client, and I have an M&A advisory firm. Right now, we're heavily focused on the automotive value.
There you go. Awesome. Okay, so we got, man, how much have I spent, right? And if you feel disorganized, you're like, man, if I see the truth about what I don't know, or maybe my financials aren't even that good, so now they're not even that helpful, yeah, that would produce some anxiety, right? Right? I'll tell you myself, when we're scaling up Shoop Legal, we went from 15 employees to 25, and then from 25 to about 35 in a span of like 2 years, right? That was a lot of anxiety for me, right? I was like, holy crap, right? You got a lot bigger payroll than we used to have, you know what I mean? But now the capabilities of what we can do is so much better. We can help so many other people, you know what I mean? So who else is nervous about their financials? We got some over there. Chloe, go ahead. Yep, there you go.
Not only, my name is Maurice Watkins. How much have I spent and how much of my taxes this quarter, right?
Yeah. Okay. You can just stay with him. John, back there. Yeah, I saw your hand. And then we'll go to Trish. We'll go to you next.
John Ortiz. I own Ranch Muffler and Truck Accessories here in town. Just not knowing the numbers and trying to learn the numbers is just so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So that's why whether it's money I'm spending or not taking in, that's what makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Just learning it.
Mm-hmm. It is, I went through the same thing, John. And once you understand the basic financial components, it'll substantially reduce your anxiety, because it's like, okay, maybe my numbers aren't where I want them to be. That was like, for me, I was like, man, I just don't want to see what it actually is. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But like, once you understand what their numbers are just numbers. The numbers are just numbers, right? But once you know what reality is, now you can do something about it. If you stick your head in the sand and you don't know where you're at, you can't make any changes to get where you want to be, right? That was something that I went through, and it significantly helped me. It's like, wait a minute, I'm in control of this? Absolutely, you're in control of this. You're 100% in control of this. All right, Trish, let me hear it.
Hi, I'm Trish. I have a maid service called Maid Pro here in Temecula. Been here 17 years. And mine goes all the way back to 4th grade. I had a math teacher named Dr. Watson who would snap rulers on the desk whenever you would make a mistake with your answer.
Wow.
And so I had to get some help, because I really, when I would look at this, I thought, I'm failing. I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to be sent to the principal's. Like the whole thing. It was just anxiety. And plus, just I'd rather deal with people than numbers. So
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. It's really empowering to know where your anxieties come from. I know you guys know this. You three, I know you know about what I'm talking about, right? Where, like, I'll give you a little peek into some of the things that I've gone through. Maurice, I'm sure you can identify this. I spent 8 years in the Marines. Actually, correction, I am a Marine. I'm just not active duty anymore. A Marine will get that, right? But spent 8 years in the Marine Corps, and when I got out of the Marines, I was not the same. Right? Actually, the moment I was in the infantry, and I served in Iraq twice. Should not have survived. God saw favor on me, and brought me home safely, right? So when I was in Iraq, the biggest vulnerability was IEDs, explosives, and snipers, okay? I was so messed up from the trauma that I experienced, I couldn't even go to a park because it was open with my kids because I thought I would just get so much anxiety. The reason why I experienced that is because I had this connection that my brain made from an open area in Iraq, which was dangerous, and it just blew it up and turned it to everywhere is dangerous in an open space, even in a park in Maria, which is one of the safest cities in the country. You know what I mean? So now that I understood that, now I can do something about it. I understand the connection that my brain has made. It's just a connection to keep you safe. That's what your brain wants to do, keep you safe, right? Keep you away from stuff that is identified as dangerous, right? So if you understand that there's a connection that my brain has made to financials, that financials is scary and dangerous because it will mean that I'm failing, now you can work on it and be like, I want to reprogram that. And so that doesn't happen anymore. I don't have that connection. I don't have that old pattern, that old behavior that does not serve me anymore, okay? Did 5 years in therapy to learn that, by the way, so. Okay, so let's dive into this. But before we go into your financials, we're gonna work on your why. You've gotta have your why nailed down for you to be able to do this, okay? And what we're gonna do is a little bit different in terms of just why am I doing this, right? We're gonna work on what do you want? Why do you want it, okay? So you've got a whole section on your business plan about your why. Does anyone have the section number? What section number is it? Is it 3, 4, somewhere in that range? 4? Okay, go to section 4, okay? You're gonna work on this section right now, okay? What is your vision for your future in terms of your life, right? What do you wanna do? Where you wanna go? Who do you wanna be? What are you gonna next year, right? Because if you're deriving substantial income from your business, most of us are, right? Then this is extremely important, okay? If you got kids, maybe it's, I wanna spend more time with my kids. I wanna have the peace of mind knowing that my business will continue to operate and function regardless of what happens to me so my kids can have a better life, right? Maybe it's that, right? Maybe it's, I wanna take dream vacations whenever I so choose because again, I got a good structure and a management of a company that will again function without me, right? Maybe it's doing God's work and helping those who are really hurting and suffering. That's my why. I want to go into my community and make my community better. Whatever your why is, let's define it right now. Why are you doing this? What is your purpose, right? What is your why? I'll share with you my why, and I can encourage you to just work on it right now in your document, right? My why is I want to give my children the life that I didn't have when I was a kid, right? I want them to have them experience just an incredible life so that when they're adults, this is a standard. This is just what they expect for themselves because they've gotten it for the last, 10, 20, whatever years, right? That's my why, okay? And then I want to be able to provide for my family. My in-laws, for example, are getting older. We want to provide them a home to live in. When they get older, they can come stay with us, right? And then eventually we'll call Ken in the back. Andrew's not here, although this is recorded, so she may listen to it. But anyways, like that is a why. Like I want to provide this life for my Andrew's parents. And then my brother is disabled. He's going to eventually need to come live with me too, because eventually my parents are going to be able to do it, right? These are my whys. The number one for me is my kids, though. You got to know it for you. Why are you doing this? Why are you here? Why do you have a company? Okay, so take a couple of minutes, go through that business plan section of why are you doing what you're doing. Okay, and if you're supporting a business owner here, some of you are supporting the entrepreneur, the business owner, this is a great time to connect with the owner. Why are we doing this? Why are we here, right? What are you doing here? Like the owner's objective and their why will influence their key leaders, their C-suite, their staff, everything. It should be communicated. The owner's why should not be hidden, right? You should know it. And if you don't know why your owner is doing what they're doing, there's a great opportunity to talk to them right now, right? If you're like, I have no clue, well, you're in a good spot, right? Let's figure it out right now. This is your vision. This is your dream. What is your dream? Once you dial in next year's dream, then you can do a 5 and a 10-year dream. Okay? Do not for a second let yourself say, this is too expensive, I can't do it. Get that out of your head. That is a limiting belief. Okay? If for a second you say, I don't know enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not old enough, right? Or whatever that is, write it down, write it on your piece of paper, tear that piece of paper off and then crumple it and throw it on the ground. That's no longer a part of your dictionary, your vocabulary. I don't have enough time. That is oh my gosh, limiting belief. Number one, top of the list. I don't have time, David. I'm too busy. You know, get rid of that stuff. Put it off to the side. That has nothing to do with your vision, your goal, your mission, your why. When I first got licensed as an attorney, I'm too young was a limiting belief that I had, right? I'm competing against lawyers 20 years my senior, 20 years more experienced, right? Need to get rid of that quickly, or I'm not going to be able to serve my clients, right? I don't know enough. I don't have the resources. I'm not making enough money. Write that on a piece of paper, tear it off, and throw it on the ground. It's no longer a part of your life. There we go. Crumple it up, baby. Crumple it up. Throw it on the ground. And leave it. Don't even pick it up. Just leave it there. Leave it there. It's no longer a part of your life. Yeah, stomp on it if you want to. Let's go through a couple of whys. Maybe you'll identify with this. A why of yours may be, I want to go to Spain every year. I'm going to go to Hawaii, then we're going to go to Mexico, then we're going to go to Spain. There are going to be different beaches all over the world, but I'm doing that every year, and I don't want to feel the stress of what's my business going to do when I'm not there. Oh my gosh, are they going to be generating sales? Maybe the staff is lost and confused. You know what I mean? Or I don't have any staff and the business literally just doesn't function, right? That may be something that we need to strategize around. But don't worry about the how you're going to do it. I want you to write the why. The why always starts first, okay? Maybe it's, I'm going to be at home. And when I'm home, I'm home. I'm not thinking about work. When I'm with my kids, I'm with them. I am not thinking about work and talking about the office and taking calls or emails or sales calls or whatever. Maybe that's what it is. Your kids are going to be grown up so fast and then you've lost that opportunity, right? Maybe that's your why. Give them the piece of yourself that your parents didn't give you. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's you want to buy that dream home. You want to buy that dream home, that dream car, right? You want to get that, whatever that car is for you. Maybe it's just up-leveling where you live, right? Or you want a vacation home. You want to get that extra house, right? Again, do not worry about what it costs. Don't even put that in your head. It does not matter. If you want it and it's your dream, write it down or type it, right? Maybe it's you want to do right by the world. You have this passion, this dream to help other people, and that's your why. I want to make this community a better place to live, or I want to help whoever, veterans, underprivileged, whatever speaks to you, right? Children like you were when you were a child, right? Maybe it's that. You want to write that down. And really, when you get back home, when you go to your office, get a picture of it and put it on your wall. Look at it. Put it next to your bed. Every time you get up, that's my why. That's what I'm doing when I'm doing. Okay? What we're doing right now is creating an anchor. This is an anchor. This is what it's called. All right? When things get tough and revenue isn't there or the staff aren't listening, oh my God, if I had to tell this person one more time to do the same stupid thing, I'm going to lose my mind, right? Whatever it is for you, right? Why are you going to stop at nothing? What is this that is going to be so powerful? It will drive you through the next economy failure, right? You think that the economy dropping down and all the craziness that happened in 2008 is not going to happen again? You're wrong, right? Another COVID. If you look at the history of the diseases in our country, there's a special disease every year, right? From now till 2000. Look it up. There's a new special disease every year. And this last one, the government shut down businesses. They're going to do it. They can do it once. They can do it again. Okay? Recession-proof your business. It does not matter. Something's going to happen. Your why is going to be, David, this is what I will stop at nothing to get. Literally, I'm going to make the way to make this happen. I don't care what it costs. I don't care what it takes. This is what's going to happen, okay? And I want you to write down, what will it mean to you January 1st of 2026, you look back at your financials, because this is just what you do now. You no longer have anxiety looking at financials. You're going to look at your financials and you're going to see that you hit it. You got your objective. You got your goals. And we're going to give you the goals in just a second, the financial ones. But when you accomplish this, what is that going to feel? How are you going to feel? What is it going to mean for you? Most importantly, if you don't hit this, and you don't take that dream vacation, and you don't double your business, and you don't grow, and you don't make those hires because you let something stand in your way, your own fear, someone that told you no, someone that said, you don't know how to do that, you're not smart enough, you don't have the resources, you don't even know what you're talking about, you're too young in business, you're too young in general, you're too old, you're too young, I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you let someone stop you, how are you going to feel January 1st, 2026, when you didn't hit it? Write it down. Write it down right now. How are you going to feel? Angry, mad, disappointed, frustrated? Focus on it right now. Write it down. Your raw feeling if you don't do it and you let this go another year without hitting your objectives, what is that going to mean for you? If you don't bring in an extra 100,000 in revenue, you break that down into the clients. What is that? 25, 50, 100, however many patients that didn't get help because you let something stop you, right? Let's think about this. What will you miss out on? What will you not be able to do? How many vacations will you not be able to take with your kids or with your family or with whoever? What kind of car will you not be able to buy because you let somebody stop you? Because you let something stop you? And I got a hint for you guys. 80% of the problems is right up here for you guys. 80% is in your own head, is your mindset. It is your limiting beliefs, your mindset. The owner's mindset is the biggest weakness in a business. It's 100% fact. Okay, now we're going to get to the numbers. We're going to get to the numbers now. And we're going to start actually in reverse. We're going to start in reverse, okay? I know a nonprofit world, a little bit differently, right? But in terms of net and gross, net, for-profit, nonprofit, it's all business, right? You know what I mean? So you still got to do the same things. We're going to start with the net. Okay, so for your lifestyle, this is where we're going to start. For your lifestyle that you want, and it's okay if you don't have the exact numbers, it does not matter, all right? For your lifestyle that you want, the vacations, the dream home, the cars, the whatever it is that you want, whatever you're doing, what net profit do you need to make that happen, right? If you want to take 6 vacations a year to Europe, right? And that costs you X amount of dollars. What kind of net do you need? The lifestyle, the unencumbered, non-limited, don't worry about what anyone, your parents or your friends think about your lifestyle. What does your lifestyle cost? And what is the net profit? Because we're going to run this as much as we can through your business. So it's a tax write-off. But what do you need? Now, this is really your total owner benefit. When I'm speaking in terms of this is your total owner benefit from your business, right? The net profit may be $200,000, but you run an extra $100,000 through your business, legally, of course, obviously. And it's now $300,000. You got $300,000 that you're running through your business. $200,000 is your comp, your profit, and your salary, and your other $100,000 is what you just have the business buy for you. That's your TOB, total owner benefit, right? What is your TOB for next year to hit the lifestyle, to hit this? What does the TOB got to be? That's what you want to write down. I want you to back into what your gross revenue is going to be, okay? What TOB? What is your TOB? Come up with a number. I don't care if it's too big. Doesn't matter. Total owner benefit. How much are you getting out of your business total, right? Yeah, total owner benefit. Yeah, total owner benefit. This is your salary, your profit draws, your stuff that you have the business buy for you. If you were to tally all that up together, that's your TOB, total owner benefit. Okay? It's the total benefit that you get from your business. Okay? Now, I know there's nonprofit restrictions, obviously, but the for-profit realm, you've got a lot more variability, right? Now that you have the net, now again, don't micromanage this thing. Write down the number. I need $500,000. Boom, write it down, right? I need $1 million. I need $2 million. I need $5 million out of my business every single year to make my lifestyle happen. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what it is. Write it down. And then what you're going to do, well, actually, before we go to the expenses, you should have your P&L. I would like you to write down what your net profit was, your profit, bottom line, from 2023. Write that down. What was your profit end of last year? And if you can reasonably anticipate what your net is going to be this year, write that down as well. Guys, we are like, holy crap, 2.5 months away from Christmas, just to let you know, right? 2.5 months away, right? We are into Q4. We are steamrolling ourselves towards 2025. What do you think your net profit is going to be? And if you got a good set of financials, you should be able to project this. What is my net going to be? All right. You can look at, so now what you're going to do is you're going to have your net from 2023. This is fact, right? It hasn't changed, right? Unless you're amending tax returns and going down that road. But most of us are not doing that. So you got your net from 2023, your profit. You got what you're anticipating 2024 to be. And now, based on the lifestyle that we want, unencumbered, no limitations, no judgment, what is your net, your total owner benefit going to be for 2025? You're setting it. You're setting it right now, okay? Once you have that down, and again, this should be pretty quick, right? Pretty quick. Then you're going to do expense projections. Now that we know what your profit is going to be for next year, now we're going to go into your expenses. What did it cost you to run your business last year? Okay? Your cost of doing business, right? All your expenses. It should be on your P&L, right? If you don't have your expenses in your P&L, then it's really not P&L. Or just like cash flow statement. You got your expenses from 2023. Anticipate, project, write it down. What do you think your total expenses are going to be for this year? Okay? What is it going to cost you to run your business in 2024? And what do you anticipate your expenses to be in 2025? If you're in 100% growth mode, your expenses will be higher. You're hiring more. Maybe you're buying a new building. You're buying more vehicles for our contractor guys in the room, right? Eric in the back there, maybe you're buying some more trucks, right? You're buying some more trucks. You got some more technicians going out, right? Okay, you want to anticipate this. What is it going to be for next year? Okay? Based on what it was last year, what you anticipate it to be this year, and projecting what it's going to be next year. All right? Now, once you have those two, now you can say, what does my gross need to be? Okay? If I run a 25% profit margin, which means 20% of my gross equals my profit, right? So out of 100,000, you're getting 20 grand in profit distributions, right? That's left over, right? Okay? If you have a 20% profit margin currently, and you're like, you know what, David? I'm going to bump it up to 30% because I'm going to run a little bit more leaner next year. Now you got a 30% profit margin. Now you can do some simple math. If you brought in 20,000 in profit and you want to go to 50,000 in profit and you run a 25% profit margin, now you know what your gross has got to be, right? It's simple math, right? You can basically create the gross revenue that you need. You started with what you want in life, right? For next year. Your vacations, the home, the new cars, the whatever you want for yourself, right? That creates your total owner benefit. You start with the net profit. You know what margin you have in 2023. So you take your gross, how much of that is net? If you grossed $1 million and you had a profit margin of 50%, which means 50% of your gross revenue is profit, that means you had $500,000 of profit, right? I'm not the best at math, but I feel like my math is correct, right? Go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong here. So you got $500,000 of net in 2023. And now let's say you're saying to myself, okay, I had $500,000 of net in 2023. I'm going to maybe around the same in 2024. But in 2025, I want a $750,000 profit, and my margin will stay the same. Let's just pretend the margin stays the same. Now you can say to yourself, okay, if I want $750,000 of net profit, what do I need in gross? 1.5, right? Easy math. Do the math based on your business. But now you know you can look at your gross for 23. Where do you think you're going to close the year at? And what are you aiming at in 2025 given your total owner benefit? Okay? Now your profit and your total owner benefit are different numbers. Total owner benefit is higher than your profit. Total owner benefit is I run my cars through the business. I pay my company has company cars, right? I got I do my quarterly shareholder meetings or whatever, and the company pays for this stuff, right? Those kinds of things, that all adds in. The company buys office supplies because it could arguably be used for the business, and then it actually just so happens to be at my house. I'm not a CPA. Don't trust me for tax advice. But you see what I'm saying? Like, this is how the TOB gets calculated. You got $400,000 of profit, and my TOB is another $100,000. So that means $500,000 of total owner benefit, right? And if I'm running 50% of my company is TOB, that means I'm at $1 million, right? 500,000 of TOB, I'm at 50% of my company, of my revenue is TOB, that means I'm at $1 million. Does that make sense? So now you know what your gross revenue will be for 2025. Anybody need some help here? Anybody confused? Need a little bit more? Is this all making sense? You now are making a logical, rational way to project your growth for next year. And make sure you know where this gross revenue number is, your net, your TOB, and your gross, and your expenses that we did as well for 2025, because we're going to use it over and over and over again in the next couple hours. Okay? Keep that handy. Or just memorize it, write it on a napkin, whatever you got to do. Keep it next to you so you see it. Okay? Now, and then here's another thing. Some of you guys, your revenue is going to increase through the year, right? This is obviously very, very simple. If you're like 1 million of gross, 50% margin for my total owner benefit, and I've got $1 million, right? Well, that doesn't mean that it's equal every month or every quarter, right? You're likely, if you're scaling up, you're hiring more staff, or you're acquiring more customers, doing more marketing initiatives, your revenue will look like this. So you could take that into account, but let's not get too complicated now. I want to stick to the basics right now so we can really ballpark what are we getting per quarter, and then you can ballpark it per month. We're going to need those numbers, okay? I need you to have your monthly gross revenue projections. If you're doing $2 million for 2025, break it down per month, have your quarterly and your monthly amount, because we're going to use that when it comes time to marketing, our marketing projections, okay? Our strategy for creating marketing. If you don't know what your guys, if you don't know how much money you want for 2025 based on your lifestyle, nothing else is going to make sense. You got to know what your target is. That's why we're doing the financials first. Too many people dive right into marketing. They go, okay, let's start doing some marketing, right? And there's right? But they have no idea what they're doing or why they're doing it. It's a random marketing. You're wasting your time, okay? You got to start with this. You start with your why, then you come to your numbers of what you want based on your lifestyle, okay? Now you know your 2025 gross and net and expense, okay? Now, let's take some key takeaways. What did we just do? You got your projections. You know your spending and earning goals for each month, quarter, and year for next year. Okay, now again, if it's not perfect, it does not matter. It does not matter. When you're writing your business plan, you're creating projections. These are guesses, right? Now, if you got a couple of years of P&Ls to back yourself up, financial statements, you can see, right? You can finesse it when you go home in your office. You really should take some time tomorrow and go through this stuff again, but you can dial it in. But we got a rough spot to start, okay? Now, you can track this throughout the year. That's the benefit, okay? All right? This is the benefit of doing this. Am I on track week to week? Am I on track month to month? And if you see that you're not, if you track your revenue weekly, right? Now, some of you guys, different business model, right? I understand that, maybe you have larger contracts to execute. Jonathan in the back there, you guys probably have, it's not like every week we got different jobs closing and stuff, right? You guys do bigger stuff, but you can average it out, right? Every quarter I've got 4 or 6 or whatever, you know what I mean? So you can kind of average it out to see if you're on track, right? And then you could, hold the owner accountable if they're not paying you, right? So that way you can stay on track in terms of expenses, in terms of profit, in terms of gross. Hopefully you're seeing now, guys, by having numbers to look at, this will guide you throughout the year. Okay, this will get you a roadmap to know where am I going and what am I doing, and most importantly, why am I doing it, right? What's my why, okay? And then those of you that have either a small or big staff, meet with your team, share this with them, okay? You don't have to share everything. You don't have to share your TOB or your net, but it would be a good idea to share with them, where are we going and what does it mean for you when we get there, right? That's huge. Huge. And if you don't have a staff, then great. You're going to put it on the wall. You're going to look at it every day, and you're going to talk to yourself. Right, Glenn? Okay. All right. And this, I want you to put this, now obviously not literally this one, put your why on the wall, look at it, meditate on it, think about it, visualize it every single day, okay? I love me some Tony Robbins, okay? One of the main things that he teaches is visualizing that you've actually accomplished what it is that you want to accomplish. Every single day, you're going to speak it. You're going to say it to yourself. I am so thankful that I've hit a $2 million gross revenue with a 50% profit margin that'll maximize and up-level my life. Over and over, he says that over and over, maybe, well, him, it's like 10 billion, but he wasn't always a 10 billionaire. Because you didn't know that. He has 10 billion net assets. Do the math, right? But when he didn't always have that kind of money, but he visualized it and he spoke it to himself. He created it. That's what Tony Robbins did. I love doing that stuff too. See it, visualize it, speak it to yourself over and over and over again every single day. Your mind will make a way for you to do it, okay? All right. Any questions on the numbers? On the numbers, baby. Your gross, your net, your expenses, what you project. Any questions? Anyone want to share? What will it mean to you when you hit your big numbers? You hit your big numbers. What is it going to mean to you? What are you going to be able to do? Chloe's ready. Chloe's ready. Come on, someone who haven't spoken to, someone who hasn't said anything yet. Joseph, what do you got planned? There we go. Joseph Goulardi, here we go. All right, all right.
Hey, Joseph, Paramount Electrical. So I'm a new company under 2 years, but this year, looking through my profit and loss and my balance sheet, I think in 2025, I want to hit $1 million.
Nice.
And then at 26, I want to hit 2 million. So I don't know, call it double, but I'm going to double down.
There we go, baby. And what are you going to be able to do when you double your business? When it happens. It will happen. You're going to double your business in 2025. Okay. How much of that is going to be your profit, by the way? What's your margin?
So I'm willing to risk it, right? So I'll double the business, won't really double my income because I want to put it all back in. I'm doubling down. I'm literally mean when I double, I'm doubling down. Because I know, and if it's another couple years of just me going for it,
Yeah.
then I can be with you hanging out on that beach right there.
There you go,
know?
baby.
And that's where it'll be in a couple years.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
and that's my plan.
Yeah. What is it going to mean for your personal life when you double your business in 2025?
Freedom, remove that anxiety like you're talking about, you know,
Freedom.
allow me to hire the right people to do what I need them to do. Right. Not have everything on my shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And what is it going to mean? How pissed are you going to be if in January 1st, 2026, something stopped you from doing it?
Well, it's not going to happen. So I'm just
not gonna,
I'll be really mad. I mean, obviously, like I started a business to grow, to have a business.
Yeah.
I didn't want a job, right? I wanted a business. And so I'll be pretty upset. But like you say, is like I don't think about it daily. I think about it hourly, if not minute. Every minute by minute, I'm thinking about the next step and the next way to get there, right? It's constant.
I love it.
But
visualize seeing it in the bank. Look at the financials. Visualize it every single day. 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, right? It'll manifest it in yourself, right?
I'll be there.
You'll be there. You will. You will be.
Yeah.
There. Awesome. Good share. Thank you. Thank you. Who else? Who else has got a big vision, big goal? You don't have to share the numbers. That's fine. You can if you want to. But who's got a big vision that will really make a difference in their lives? And if your vision will not make a substantial difference in your life, you need to make a new vision, right? You need to make a new vision, right? Anybody? Eric?
Eric with Hamilton Plumbing. I'm going to double down on what Joe said. Same thing. Just everything rides on me. If I'm not there for a day, the place turns into a dumpster fire. So when I do get to that point, just like he said, hire the right people.
Yeah.
Or have the right people come in under the people I have now so that they can grow. and become those people. And then I can kind of delegate and not be everything in the company.
Yeah.
Because
How many hats you got on right now? How many hats you wearing?
It's like Elmer Fudd. It's like 40 hats. They just stack.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. What is it going to mean? How are you going to feel when you look back at your financials, January 1st of 2026, and you realize that you did double your business in 2025? What is that going to mean for you?
I'm going to feel super stoked because we hit the ground running. I kind of started not by choice. My last company went under, and then the contractor that we were working with, they didn't force me, but they were like, hey, come work for us. We'll pay you each week. Just do it. You have your license anyways. I'm like, how do you know that? But we just said, okay, and just went for it and swung hard. And I had no preparation. I have no clue what I'm doing in business.
Yeah.
Still to this day, that's why I'm here. I throwing haymakers in the dark, swing as hard as I can. But it's stuff like this that helps me kind of keep trucking.
Awesome. Awesome. Good share. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Enrique, you got something you want to share?
Thank you.
What are you projecting? How much percentage growth? You don't have to give me the number if you don't want to. What percentage growth are you projecting?
Quintuple.
What's that?
Quintuple my business.
There we go.
When I do over 100 million in transactions for 25.
Oh, yeah. All right, we
We're on
got to give
track.
that guy some love. Yes. Yes. What is it going to mean for you when you look at your balance sheet and your P&L and you saw that you got it? What is that going to mean for your life?
I'm not going to be nervous to look at it anymore.
That, my friend, is a win. That is a win. Yeah, that is a win.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys. This is it. This is really what it boils down to, what it comes from, right? Now, I'm going to ask a question that is going to piss some of you off right now, and it'll make some of you are going to feel amazing, some of you are just going to get mad. And that's okay. I'm willing to risk that. Who is getting wealthier as we sit here right now? Okay? Feels pretty damn good, doesn't it? Right? To getting wealthier, not working, cranking the wheel, cranking the wheel, cranking the wheel. Oh, I'm so tired. Cranking the wheel, cranking the wheel. And now maybe I hire someone to crank the wheel, but now I'm just doing like this, watching them crank the wheel, watching them crank the wheel, watching them crank the wheel. Right? Yeah. Right? And there's some of us who are worse, or just not increasing that wealth, right? And that's frustrating. That pisses you off. Let's get out of an operator and get into the owner role. Okay? Let's get into the owner role. So you are worth more money when you wake up than when you fell asleep. Right? That's the goal.